Your Excellencies, delegates, colleagues and friends, it's a privilege to be invited here to this second edition of this conference and to be able to participate as an unusual player. We're not a maritime industry player in the traditional sense, but I think there isn't a party in the room that we don't interact with, we don't work with, we don't collaborate with. As we discussed last year, at this exact event last year, we are at a crucial and pivotal moment. Maritime trade is one of the oldest industries in the world. It is the backbone of the global economy. But as we've been reminded through some recent events like COVID, the disturbance in the Red Sea, even the blockage in the Suez Canal, it is still fragile. We still have to continuously strive to be resilient, and climate change is another one of those challenges that we can and have to and will do overcome. Our society is demanding action in every respect. Our environment is alerting us every day with the need to take action. And we in the maritime sector need to acknowledge the challenges we have to respond to that call, as well as identify ways that we can and deliver the responses that our community, our society needs. I think James mentioned last year, one of the great challenges we have is the length of the life of our assets in the marine industry. Nobody builds a vessel, a shipping vessel, a dredger, a DP heavy lift vessel for 5 years, for 10 years. Our assets last 30, 40 years. Our assets are very difficult to decarbonize. They're not impossible, but they're very difficult. So the speed, as Dr. Ibrahim mentioned, the speed at which we're able to uptake some of the new clean initiatives are challenging to us. But we as leaders in this sector share a responsibility to continue to drive that and to innovate in whatever ways we can to achieve that sustainability and resilience. And always bearing in mind that sustainability is not just about the environment, but we need to do it in a way that sustains our businesses as well. Because if our businesses aren't sustained where the climate is, we're unable to influence, we're unable to deliver the change that people want because our businesses won't be there anymore. So it's very important that all these strategies are aligned together. Many of you probably know NMDC Group. We're a world-leading, regional-leading EPC marine contractor working in the oil and gas, clean energy, offshore wind farms, dredging marine civils sectors. But as a maritime operator, we actually manage one of the largest logistics fleets operating in the region. Typically at any one time, we have more than 350 marine vessels operating on the logistics for our projects, transporting tens of millions of tons of cargo every year. So while we share a lot of the same challenges in terms of decarbonisation with the asset life, with the innovation in the field, we also have the other challenge that comes to play in that we don't have port facilities where we're delivering our cargo to, because we're building those port facilities for the port operators in order to be able to do that. So while we deliver the sustainable infrastructure, our environment for our marine logistics, for our services sector, for our construction projects is actually much more dynamic and challenging. So when we talk about clean fuels, when you have port infrastructure with those clean fuels available, with methanol, with LNG, then that can help drive in the shipping sector the adoption of LNG and methanol engines, etc. But when you're going to build the port facility, when you're going to build the platform that then will enable those things to happen, those facilities aren't there. You can't get the access to the LNG. You can't get the access to the fuel. So it's important to acknowledge and understand these challenges and realize that we all need to share in our experiences, our knowledge, and our capabilities in order to be able to overcome them. NMDC is fully committed to ESG. We're fully committed to the net zero targets our wise leadership have set. But how do we do that with those challenges that I've just mentioned? Well, there's various different ways. Now, I'll give you a few examples. One is diversification. We are the main player in the region for offshore oil and gas construction. We are the main player in the region for dredging, reclamation and marine civils. But we have diversified into other sectors. We have a JV company in France with Technip called NT Energies, which is specifically surrounding the development of new technologies, new projects, for the production of those clean fuels, for the production of those clean energies. We also have been operating in the wind sector for the last 2 years. We're participating in one of the largest wind farm developments in the world, in Taiwan, and our flagship 4,200-ton DP heavy lift vessel has been redeployed on 2 occasions out there and acted in the entire campaigns for the erection of the monopiles for the wind farms. But looking internally and looking at what we can do, we are exploring ways that we can adopt clean technologies and alternative fuels, particularly in our new build vessels. Right now, I have a team of people with an engine manufacturer exploring the way that we can adopt methanol engines into one of our new build dredgers. Because dredging is also a very high power demand event, and sometimes these methanol engines, which are suitable for adoption in the shipping industry where you have a continuous power load, there are more challenges with the dynamic load situation. So we've got a team over there working with one of the world's leading engine manufacturers to ensure that we're able to implement those things in the new builds that we have going on. Our fabrication yard for the oil and gas platforms, which is the largest steel fabrication yard in the region, was recently awarded the Modernisation Project of the Year, where we've electrified, we've automated, we're implementing AI tools in order to be able to ensure efficiency, which ultimately reduces our energy consumption, which ultimately reduces our carbon footprint, which ultimately contributes to the net zero target. Operating marine vessels is a heavy fuel consuming business. So one of the best ways that we can decarbonize or to reduce our carbon consumption is reduce the amount of fuel that we're consuming. We've been trialling for the last 6 months multiple different alternative fuel catalysts, which reduce the volume of fuel burned to generate the same power. It increases the efficiency of the fuel burning process in the engine in order to be able to reduce the fuel consumption. I think across the business, NMDC has adopted the approach of our major shareholder, IHC Group, in implementing AI in every aspect of our business, whether it's onboard our dredgers, whether it's onboard our DP vessels, onboard our tugs, in our yard operations. In every aspect of our business, we're implementing digitization and AI, because through those tools, you will find the areas of improvement that lead to greater efficiency, which leads to reduction of carbon consumption. And in addition to those, as is a normal approach, we also adopt an offset approach. We undertake projects that deliberately offset some of the carbon aspects of the projects that we're delivering for our customers and our clients. When we delivered the Hale and Gasher Islands, at the same time, we did a huge amount of work to enhance the facilities on Bootina Island in order to be able to facilitate those. Around the coast of Abu Dhabi, we are installing fish farms during our downtime on our vessels, during our downtime on our projects. These ways, we're producing offsets against the carbon that we cannot escape our consumption of. It's really important, though, that as an industry, we don't just celebrate our successes and talk about our successes, but we need to be able to ensure that externally, people's views are the same as our achievements. It's very easy for everybody in any industry to recognize their achievements, but it's more important to benchmark yourself and see, are you really doing the same as everyone else? And I'm pleased to inform you that we've gone through that process, and during the course of the last couple of months, NMDC Group has received an MSCI ESG rating of AA. That's a global market high for an EPC marine contractor. That's the legitimization of our belief and our commitment to the ESG environment. In addition, when I talk about our digitization impacts, the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology recently certified us as an Industry 4.0 digital leader in recognition of the innovation in the digital sector and in our approach to use these tools, AI, to use data-driven technologies. As we look forward, we need to ensure that we collaborate. I think that's been a common theme of every single speaker we've had so far, and I'm sure it will continue throughout the conference. Collaboration is key. Developing partnerships like the one we have as NMDC Group with Abu Dhabi Ports, like we have with ADNOC, like we have with Aramco, and with the marine owners and other providers throughout the supply chain, is key for us to be able to collaborate in order to be able to drive the energy improvements. It's only through that cooperation are we able to do it. It's only through all unifying towards the same objective and learning from each other can we do that. And we must ensure continuously and check that our objectives align with the global society's demands. In conclusion, I'd like to encourage everybody here to take the opportunity to use the power of this event by bringing together all different aspects of the maritime sector and the marine industry, to learn from each other through the presentations and workshops, to challenge each other to achieve more, and to learn from our collective innovation. And most importantly, we need to be the leadership that society needs us to be to ensure the next generations can continue the journey that we've started. Thank you very much.